Good morning once again, FCF. We're in day 5 and we're considering kind of an unusual subject, painful memories. Now I started this little series by referring to Isaiah 65 where it talks about God's going to create a new heaven and a new earth, and it says the former things will be remembered no more. So though we may be for a season tormented by some painful memories, this is not a condition that's going to last forever. And in fact, some of the memories that are the most painful now can actually work in a beneficial way. They can incentivize us. They can give us sensitivity to those that have also gone through similar failures and things, and incentivize us to be more righteous and cautious and conscientious. At any rate, I'm going to read to you from Psalm 137, and to give you the background, Psalm 137 is a psalm that's written with the context behind it that the Israelites, the southern kingdom, had been overrun by the Babylonians in 586 BC, and the temple had been burned down and destroyed, and they would be carried away into bondage in Babylon for 70 years. Now they ultimately would be restored, but imagine this, for 70 years they're living in a foreign land, they're being mocked and mistreated and so forth. So that's the context when you read this. Psalm 137:1. By the rivers of Babylon we sat and wept when we remembered Zion. There on the poplars we hung our harps, for there our captors asked us for songs. Our tormentors demanded songs of joy. They said, "Sing us one of the songs of Zion." How can we sing the songs of the Lord while in a foreign land? If I forget you, O Jerusalem, may my right hand forget its skill. May my tongue cling to the roof of my mouth. And if I do not remember you, and if I do not consider you, Jerusalem, as my highest joy. So here the Israelites are. They're waiting on God. It was their unfaithfulness that brought them into this Babylonian captivity. But they knew that God had clearly said that it would be 70 years before they would ever have any chance of returning to their homeland. Some of them, no doubt, would never live that long. And they're being mocked by their tormentors, asking for happy and cheerful songs while they're grieving over their failure to be faithful to God and the cost that it has brought to them, the unnecessary losses. And some of us can look back on some painful memories where our unfaithfulness to God, our straying from God, has brought some unnecessary losses, and losses that in many cases can never be recovered. And somebody perhaps around us urges us to cheer up. That's one of those things. And there are just some seasons where mourning is frankly the only honest and authentic thing we can do. Now, I'm not talking about getting depressed or sinking into depression, but mourning sometimes, or having grief, can be good. We use the term good grief. I think what the Israelites were doing here was good grief. They were mourning. They were owning their failure. They were feeling the pain of it. But it was incentivizing them to think more highly of the days when they were back in their land, when they were back in union with God, when they were back in His Word and His will, when Jerusalem was their home. And some of us can use our painful past, our painful memories, to move us forward and to make us that much more cautious and that much more motivated by every little bit of righteousness and kindness and peace that God's still giving us, maybe in the midst of some less than ideal circumstances. I hope this is still helping you to deal with your painful memories.